everybody. Welcome back. We are. The police have wrapped up their investigation. They've removed the bodies. It's probably 4 a.m. by the time you guys get all kind of settled. Where are you headed? You mentioned going back to Bobby's apartment.
Yeah,
to check and make sure everything was safe there.
Yeah, with the 2 policemen.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So you guys head back to Bobby's apartment. Everything there is fine. Nobody's come or gone. The doorman says that he hasn't seen anybody all night. Everything seems fine. Good. As far as that goes.
Glad to hear it.
What? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm glad to hear it. You know, that's. Yeah, didn't want anybody else. You know.
Yeah. Hurt. Make a mess more.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are. Where are you guys headed from there? Because you've been up almost 24 hours now.
Do we? I'm going to talk to the group. Do we all feel safe crashing at Bobby's place for the night, or do we want to try and find a hotel somewhere to stay? Because honestly, I'm about dead on my feet.
Yeah, we should probably find a hotel.
Somewhere with a restaurant in the basement, preferably.
Or at least room service.
Something.
Okay.
No, I just assume there's no food at your place, so I didn't even try.
He's got a can of beans. He's got a couple cans of beans.
Probably some pie.
Pie. We have.
Bobby did have pie for everybody.
Yes, I did. Saved by pie.
But we didn't get to partake in the pie.
I snarf pie like crazy whenever it is presented to me.
By the time you guys, you're going to a hotel? You're going to a rather upscale, low end. What are you looking for there?
I'd be looking for mid to high end myself, but that's
so like the Waldorf Astoria.
That's kind of super high end, isn't it?
You said high end.
Yeah.
That's Waldorf Astoria. Let me see. That's pretty new to this time period, isn't it?
Yeah, super new.
I mean, that's
I was about to say because I thought it came in like the 30s, but maybe a little earlier than that. So we're pretty close.
That's
I don't know, my vague recollection of such odd facts.
1925 was their soft opening.
19 what?
1925 was their soft opening.
Oh, so then they're not open yet.
No, I'm just saying.
January. I think it's like January. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, you guys find a decent hotel there. By the time you get checked in, it's it's breakfast time. So there are a couple of diners open within less than a block's walk. You guys want to grab breakfast?
Yeah, we grab breakfast. Yeah. We can go over what, kind of fill in everybody. Bobby can fill us in on what happened that he couldn't say in front of the police.
Yeah.
We can speculate and eat some breakfast and then go get some sleep.
Sounds good. Okay, so you guys find yourself at the little diner. You order food. The waitress brings it and then kind of leaves you guys alone. It wants to talk.
It would be, by the way, it would be called the Astoria Hotel right now.
Oh,
and it was the Waldorf Hotel when it opened in 1893. It became the Astoria in 1897, and in 1931, it was the Waldorf Astoria.
Fancy.
See? Yeah, I thought it was 30s.
Well,
sorry.
No.
I don't know why I knew that.
You're a nerd.
Nerds.
But yeah, I will happily go to a diner. I like diner fare. I am not. In fact, Jewell Rumtree suggests one in the vicinity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, you've got breakfast. Waitress is kind of leaving you to be.
Steak and eggs.
I was just gonna say that, steak and eggs.
If Tales from the Crypt taught me anything, it's steak and eggs.
Beans and toast.
I don't know if we do beans and toast in New York for breakfast.
Bobby Blackwood does.
Yeah, and they know him, so
he smiled with some charm, and that waitress went out and found some beans.
He just flirts with the young waitress, and
yeah.
I'm not going there.
Can I get some hummus and couscous?
Hummus and couscous.
Wrong era. Wrong era.
Is there a falafel dealer on every corner right now? Dirty water dogs.
Ooh.
You can get some dirty water dogs for sure.
Get some bagels and lox. We can do that, I bet.
Oh, yeah. So what do you guys, who's talking? Who's revealing their information?
I would say that it needs to be Bobby Blackwood, as he was the one in the room when all this went down.
Well, the hallway at least, yeah.
Yeah, what exactly happened? Why weren't you there when they showed up, Mr. Blackwood?
I went to go get some food, bring it back, and also get some supplies.
Baking soda?
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Continue, please. Go on.
So I went to go get the stuff, and when I came back up, I had turned off the lights before I left, and the lights were on. I also noticed that the door was open.
Why turn off the lights? Don't have to. Electricity exists to light the dark.
Well, I'm glad I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too. I paid the bill.
So I'm going back in, and
What's your rule? I see.
I start to hear voices from the room, and not a language I know. So I immediately go back down to the car and get my gun. Come back up, and they're doing something. They were looking at something on the floor. Or maybe they were just packing stuff up. I don't know. Their backs were to me, and they were wearing the robes.
Was it where the body had been? Was
No,
it blood that they were looking at?
I don't think so.
No, we had it fairly wrapped up. I mean, there was nothing that was dripping out of the carpet.
I'm just asking if these are, as far as we can tell, death cultists. Perhaps they have some sort of innate sense for where a body of one of their practitioners has been.
Okay, that's okay. It's kind of
That's okay.
It's kind of a jump in conjecture, and why am I not surprised? Why does this sound reasonable to me right now?
Well, I mean, we just saw a walking corpse. I mean, it's not exactly. I think our speculation needs to go outside of the box.
I don't want to discuss that over my steak and eggs. Anything but the walking corpse.
My apologies.
Okay. Well, they got up and they left. I watched them go down the first part of the stairs. Went in because I was like, why are they here? It looks like they weren't really doing anything. But I went to go look in the photo room, and I noticed everything was gone. So
they took all the photos?
They wanted to.
Oh, you got them back?
Yeah.
You didn't blow holes in them, did you?
No. But I stopped them on the staircase, and that's when one of them pulled a gun on me. I was quicker on the draw than him. Other one started coming up the staircase at me. And I just wasn't taking any chances, and I shot him too.
Did they say anything to you?
Not really. Yeah.
You said stop. They came.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
well,
yeah.
I'm glad that you got out of that safely, Bob, because that could have went completely sideways on you.
No. It's moments like this I'm a little bit, thankful that my dad was a stickler for hunting.
I'm just glad that you've been around doing these investigations long enough that you noticed the lights were on and the door was ajar.
Yeah.
And
well, so I took the stuff off of them, and it's in the back end of the car.
Well, did they have anything else on them?
One of them had a knife. I got their addresses from where they're from.
Oh, good. Okay.
About $4.
How did you get that?
They had IDs.
Oh,
That's
so we got
nuts.
their names as well?
Yeah. And so I took down the information, left that there, and left they had like $4 something on them. I left that. But they, I'm guessing there was something on them I missed since the cops talked to you about something.
Yeah, that's why we're kind of adrift right now. One of the cultists had a carbon copy of the police report from the attack on Jackson with my name and address on it. So basically that means that one of these cultists have a connection with the police department and we're able to get information about me and
so
my
we
office
need
location.
To work forward assuming that they've got somebody on the force.
Oh, most definitely they've got someone on the force. And I don't know who we can trust. I mean, Officer Lewis, he's a good guy, but he's not exactly high enough up in the police department that he'd be able to leverage anything for us. Lieutenant Poole, who I talked to the other day, that cleared us to travel. Which, by the way, we're allowed to travel. Miss Rumtree, I don't know, you were not around when that happened, but we've been cleared to travel.
I did not know that. That's good.
And we can actually,
news.
Daulphus, we can actually go pick up our weapons from him tomorrow or today. Actually, today we can go by the station and pick up our weapons. I don't know Lieutenant Poole incredibly well. I know that he's never been obviously on the take from anything. I mean, most of the police force is slightly on the take. I tend to look the other way if it's not something that's endangering us. Like if, one of the police officers wants to grab a bottle of hooch when they bust someplace, it's not for me to, to care. But I do get involved if they're covering up crimes or hiding something or not doing their most to look into investigation. So, I mean, I know that, Lieutenant Poole is fairly one of the good guys. So I think we could probably ask him to look into it if we really want to. But I think if we just move forward with the knowledge that we can't trust the police, I think that's the best way to go for right now.
Yeah, it might not just...
That works for me.
Yeah.
I'm not too trusting of most anyway.
I understand.
So I think once we get to our hotel rooms, we need to sit down and look over all of the materials that we gathered and see where we're at and what we need to do.
I think we need. I agree, but I think we should get a few hours of sleep first before we do that, because I don't think any of us are going to think all that clearly at this point.
And
That's fair. Fair enough.
y'all are gonna need your guns, and I'm gonna need a new one since the police took mine.
It shouldn't be too hard for you. I mean, you probably got some either
You don't have another one?
at your apartment or at your father's estate.
Was that
I'm
not the
assuming?
gun that you took from the Juju house?
No, the gun with the Juju house. Pardon me for
You
reminding
kind of
but
threw that in the room after you shot it, and
Yeah.
You're right.
we just
Yeah.
closed the door.
No, there's, as far as I can tell, there's not really any firearms anywhere that link us to anything, except for the ones that y'all are carrying on you now.
Yeah, but I mean, unless the police officers actually suspect us, I think we're pretty safe to keep carrying them.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to get my Colt back that they took, because I used that in the war and I really want it back.
I can probably pick one up. I know, I kind of know someone that might have access to a gun, but I thought I'd ask you first.
About a shotgun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can cover you with that.
Jimmy Tunos will definitely be able to hook you up with that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the 1920s, out of character, at the 1920s, we should be able to pick up a shotgun fairly easy from just about anywhere.
Yeah, relatively easy. However, New York City still has some pretty solid gun control laws about purchasing them. So you'd have to actually go outside of the city.
Mm-hmm. Which, now that we're clear to travel, is not that hard. But I mean, if we want to go to Jimmy can get us the guns you need.
Jimmy,
For you as well, Miss Rumtree, if you need
I think
access
I'll be
into
fine.
anything.
well, there's Jimmy, and then there's I know the Lower East Side Toy Company. Yep, but I've never taken you there, have I?
No, you've never taken me there. You've been holding out on me?
Maybe.
A toy company, Mr. Blackwood.
It's a speakeasy. It's just that the speakeasy's in the bottom basement of the toy company. So.
Yeah, you should be able to get access to a gun there as well.
Yeah.
Righto.
Go. I think we know what we're going to do. I think once we're done eating, I think we should all go back, get some sleep, and reconnect.
The only thing that would make this breakfast better would be some shrimp and grits. But I don't trust the North to know how to make that. So.
What are grits?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What is a grit?
Yeah, what is a grit, Miss Rumtree?
Strangely enough, I know what that is.
Well, you have some Southern in you, don't you, Mister from the Carolinas?
Yeah. My dad.
Do you cook, Bobby Blackwood?
I make a very good minced meat sandwich. We'll just put it that way.
Well,
After the night
you
we've
boys
had,
enjoy
it's
being
not
single
good.
the rest of your life.
1920s. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem finding a woman to cook for me. Oh,
Wow.
Remember
that part at
remember
the
those
beginning
terms
where
and
I was like,
conditions?
hey, those, could say something offensive.
Yeah.
The expression.
Ms. Rumtree, I believe Mr. Blackwood here is the type to hire a personal chef.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so
Well,
and what dame wouldn't love to have a guy with his own personal chef, right?
Right.
I'm not really into marrying royalty or anything like that, but
Excuse me, I'm going to powder my nose. Get out of the seat, Daulphus. I need to get out.
I just don't want to. Yeah.
Are you done with your steak?
Oh, I ate it. It's gone. A woman of my sturdiness.
She's a
does not
sturdy
leave.
woman.
She is a member of the Clean Plate Club.
Do you need us to order you
Every
another
week.
one?
No.
Hey, actually, Roxy, I need to switch out cameras.
Okay.
Mine's about to die.
I can hide you for a second.
Yeah, if you could do that, and I'm going to mute myself. So don't forget, you guys also have a party tomorrow night.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That you're supposed to
Yes.
be going to as well.
We're going to have to go pick up Daulphus's tux that he went and saw the tailor for.
So.
I've
So I
got you.
guess
I've got you
now
hidden,
we're
Matt.
going to go to the hotel and get some sleep.
Take a nap. And real quick, while we're taking a pause, the opinions expressed by Aaron Lockhart is not necessarily my opinions in real life.
That's right.
And his wife may be talking about it with him later.
No.
I'm gonna text her.
I'm the cook in the family, that's for sure.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm kind of the cook around here too. A lot of times,
Let me check
I
the
made
chat real
I
quick.
make a pretty good pizza,
Yeah, he frozen pizza
And
really
I-
well tonight.
I frozen pizza like it's nobody's business.
Dude, I used to Dr. Hamburger Helper. It would take like the potato hamburger helper stroganoff and like put mushrooms and onions.
We're not
and
technically
all that
on
in
break, guys. We're actually still
I
playing.
know, but we're providing.
Yeah, you guys are
Open
doing
air.
fine.
We're not having any dead
The
air.
veil is
dead
but
air is the
troubled.
enemy.
it. That's right. There's no dead air.
That's right. Well, the veil is but troubled. Let us patiently await further instructions.
Oh,
But
okay.
so I mean, I'm just saying. So we go back and we sleep.
I
Are
think
we
I'm
all
going to
right?
actually have to back out and then have you recall me. So give me
That's fine.
just a second to do that.
Yes, we're all going to go take a few hours of sleep. Then we're going to go over notes, go pick up a tux.
You know, all
Ooh,
those things.
When we go pick up the tux, we can go by the Juju house and see what's going on there.
All right, I'm backing out. I'm going to hang up and then you'll call me back and just
Yep.
I'll message you, okay?
Yep. This is how live streaming goes when you have remote participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's good stuff. But yeah, so we go back. So we have the party. So now that when we wake up, we have the party tonight.
Yeah.
So
Well, yes.
and you guys are getting your stuff, or Daulphus is getting his tailored.
I'm going to have to go back by my place and pick up my dress uniform.
They're done with
Or
it by
I'm back
now.
in.
So there are currently
You
two
back in?
people watching the stream, and I think it's myself and Shawn.
It is. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, hear you, Matt.
Fantastic. Let me make sure my audio is good. Hey, that was pretty painless.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sorry, my iPad was dying and I had to switch out for the other iPad.
No
I'm
worries.
fancy. I got extras.
So many iPads.
Yeah. Right. That's the name of the game now.
Let's see here. That's not you. This is you. All right.
So, you guys are going to go procure a couple of guns, sleep for the day, procure a few guns, and then what?
I'm going to. What time is this party? You said like 8?
Yeah.
So we also
would
need to go pick up the tux for
Expect it
Daulphus.
to go between 9:15.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to pick up the tux for Daulphus that he went and got fitted for before we went to the Juju house.
Sure.
Yeah.
Stop talking about the Juju house.
So you
And
don't.
weren't
when
there.
we,
We never
go
went.
pick up the tux, we can make a little pass by
tea
that
house.
place and see what's going on there.
Is it even on the way?
Sort of.
I mean, I guess.
It's in the city.
It's New York.
anything's-
Everything's on the way.
Anything's on the way if you drive the right way.
Well,
God.
I'm just going to put it this way: does anyone else have a car besides me?
Well,
Well, I
don't-
had one, but I had to return it.
Do you remember that we are here
Could
out of
hire
town,
one.
Mr. Blackwood? We don't have vehicles.
Well, I'm not trying.
I
to
mean,
be
I've got a
rude.
car. I've
I'm
got
just-
a car in Arkham, but I didn't drive here.
Well, I was just saying that just because we could, if more than one of us had a car, we could just split up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for that matter, if I can travel by subway to the police station to get the professor's gun and my gun back from Lieutenant Poole. So I mean, splitting up's not a problem in the city. I mean, there's ways to get around.
yeah, there's plenty of public transit.
Okay.
Now, the question is, do we want to split up with everything that's going on?
Not too much.
The last time we did, I Bobby ran into a couple of guys in the hallway, so
Exactly.
it might not be a good idea.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we're gonna just do after we wake up in the morning or in the afternoon. We're just gonna do a big old tour of the city. Hit a couple of spots: the police station, the tuck shop, the tea house.
Sure. Does it make sense that, or should we have someone at the university send us our passports?
You should have somebody send them.
Okay, I was gonna say it wouldn't make sense that we brought them with us at this time.
I mean, that's a quick phone call from your room.
Also, what now?
I mean, that's a quick phone call, so I mean, that's not like it's going to
No. I just didn't know if it was commonplace in the 20s for people to carry their passports.
No, not really. You said, Aaron, you said tea house?
Yeah, because Miss Rumtree doesn't like us referring to it as the Juju house.
Oh, gotcha.
There was a lot of carnage, and I think it's probably best if we don't just start dropping names of places that we supposedly have never been.
So she was asking us to politely refer to it as the tea house.
The House of Antiquities that we visited on yesterday.
Okay. So guns not a problem.
Yep.
You're gonna go by the tea house.
Yeah, we want to kind of make sure that it's not. We've discussed it. We have worries that the police might have disturbed things. Things might have gotten out of hand. We just want to double check.
I reckon we'd have heard.
What? Really? I mean, honestly, with everything that's been going on, do you really think you would have heard?
I mean,
like,
if something like, I'm just saying, if like there had been a zombie outbreak,
sure,
a walking corpse thing, even mentioned, like seen somewhere at this time of history, there's at least 2 papers a day in New York.
Well,
right?
yeah, and we would have heard something, and
if
the police would have found something, I think, yes, we would have heard it. I'm even curious if it's even been discovered, and I think just a little drive-by would show us if it has been discovered or not.
Are you all newspaper readers every day? Like, guaranteed you're going to read a newspaper?
I would.
But with everything that's been going on, I don't think I would have had time to have picked one up.
Is there a skill in here for newspaper reading?
No. Miss Rumtree, after you give a call for your passports and you're getting all ready to go out for the day, waiting on the menfolk to get back from the police station or whatever,
they complain about waiting
stop
on
at
women.
What now?
So they complain about waiting on a woman.
Yeah. You pick up a newspaper at the front desk of the hotel.
Okay.
Just kind of leaf through it. It's the afternoon edition because it is mid-afternoon by the time you guys get up and get moving.
Sure.
On like the third page is a story about a fire in some tenement housings in Harlem. And the address it gives makes it seem like it's likely to be the buildings that the tea house was in.
Okay. Like around, what was it, 38th Street or 138th?
Yeah.
38th?
I don't remember quite where it was at. I can look that up. But, yeah, in that general area.
Yay, we don't have to go by here.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were headed there anyway. I'm just like, oh, see, it solved itself. Things like that do. Not always in the best way, but...
Yeah, fire in the tenement is not exactly the best solution, but...
The notes do say that there were several burned bodies found near the building that clearly had been damaged.
Fire was not their cause of death, likely.
No, but they were burned.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to assume, and if the men decide they want to talk about it when they get back, I'm going to assume that the cultists handled their own business. There.
Okay.
That's going to be my assumption, is that they don't want it to be discovered either. And that they did what they could to hide that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad assumption. And you're going to tell the menfolk when they
I am.
up?
I'm gonna be like, did you hear about like that tragedy down in Harlem? It sounds like there was some, like, a row of tenements went up in flame late last night.
Would it happen to have taken out a certain house that we're familiar with?
It certainly seems like it was in the area.
Seems like someone cleaned up their mess.
Well, it means we don't need to worry about that.
It's true. Yeah, I wasn't really all that eager to go by there anyway.
Yeah, I agree. So we got some stuff to take care of, though. I mean, not trying to gloss that over, but we do have other things.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's go get y'all's guns back and see what we can do about the rest.
So what time of day is it now? By the time they come back and we talk,
I'd say it's almost 5 o'clock.
okay. Then I'm gonna go up to my room or our room or however the arrangements are. I'm gonna go up to my room, and I'm gonna start getting ready.
For the dinner?
Yeah.
Or for the party's actually tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow? I thought you said it was today.
Yeah. No, it's tomorrow.
Okay, then never
So,
mind. Then yeah, let's go do some stuff. I'll
Well,
hang out with
the party's on Sunday, so this would be the day that we're going to go get everything we need to get. Go get the tuxes.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
go pick up
sorry.
my uniform.
No, this is the day.
Yeah,
No. Yeah. So your Saturday was full of murder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have.
Oops.
I don't know the days of the week, but I have down the date as the 18th for the party.
Yeah, and that would be tonight.
Yep, I've got that
Okay,
one.
then yes, I am going to go upstairs, and I'm going to put on my dress, and I'm also, I don't know if you need to know, but I will also tuck a 38 caliber revolver in my pantyhose.
Okay. And you
I have a leg holster.
Okay, I was going to say, because that's going to pull down those pantyhose. Or run them.
you have several guns, I assume. That correct?
Me?
In those suitcases? Yes.
I had two.
2 guns?
Yeah.
I would expect that
I could have
you
more
would've-
for as heavy as they were.
Yeah. And also ammunition. Plenty of it.
Yeah. So,
So
Okay.
but I'm only going to take the revolver.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
we went by the police station, got the guns. So do we need to go by the speakeasy still?
Well, that's going to be the question is when we could pick up their guns, asking, is there any way we can go ahead and get mine?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that we had everything.
So you have 2 pistols and then the shotgun for Mr. Blackwood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds great.
Okay. So I'm going to, so I'm going to, and then we would have swung by the office. I could get my dress uniform.
Yep.
Since, I don't want to wear tux.
So Miss Rumtree is armed. Is anyone else going to the party armed?
I'll be armed.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Blackwood, are you going to have a driver drive you out, which would be appropriate?
Yeah.
Or okay. So a town car takes the 4 of you. We'll pick up the 4 of you around 8:30. Everybody's ready to go by then, I assume.
Yep.
Nothing out of the ordinary there.
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All shaved and shined up.
So the Carlyle house is in Westchester, which is outside of New York City. You guys arrive right about 9 o'clock. You notice that there are several cars already there. There are people going inside. Bobby, these are your people. You know them. Hold on a second. All 4 of you are greeted at the door by a gentleman. I'm looking for his name. Sorry.
Mr. Looking for his name. It's so good to see you.
Must be Italian.
A Mr. Gray. He seems to be...
You're looking a little ashy tonight, sir.
He's a sturdy fellow.
My kind of man.
Family?
Yeah, he's a big boy. Built like a long linebacker, actually. And he kind of eyes you, the 4 of you, looks over the list, says, Mr. Blackwood, I don't have noted that you would have 3 guests, but I'm sure that the host will be happy to handle or happy to accommodate your extra friends.
Your name isn't Cloverdale, is it? You look just like some of the fine stock from Georgia Way. Of the Cloverdale family.
I grew up north in Maine. My family's been there for years.
I would have sworn I told him that I was going to have guests with me.
Yeah, I thought I heard that conversation, Bobby.
got you noted for one guest. I apologize, Mr. Blackwood, just what's on the list. I'm sure that Ms. Carlyle will not mind the extras.
I'm hoping not.
Oh, introduce the professor. He's really well known.
Yeah. Why not? Well, I do have a gentleman of quite a bit of esteem with me, Professor Daulphus Hardgrove.
How do you do, sir?
Oh yes, you're the Egyptologist, aren't you?
Among things, yes.
Yeah,
Professor of archaeology.
I read the papers from time to time. I was interested about your last foray into Egypt. It's not that this man is slow; it's that he doesn't understand how to inflect. It's very clear that he seems intelligent enough. Probably didn't go to college of any kind, but whatever's going on, he's not a stupid man. He's just not inflecting correctly.
Well, you broke a little bit. What was his name? Did he give his name?
His name is Bradley Gray.
Gray.
So,
okay.
Mr. Gray. Can I get a spot from Mr. Lockhart and Mr. Hardgrove? Oh, and Miss Rumtree. Everybody but Bobby.
Right. Spot hidden?
Yeah.
I got a 45. So normal success.
I got a 12, which is an extreme success.
I got an 18, which is a hard success, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, hard.
So everybody that got a hard and extreme. So I don't think, Mr. Lockhart, you just got a regular?
Yeah, I just got a regular success.
The two of you that got the hard and extreme success, you both noticed that not only is Mr. Gray armed, he is armed with a big, heavy 45 caliber revolver. It's a stopper. So he's not that it's unexpected that he would be armed, acting as some sort of security, but he is not messing around.
Fair enough.
I'm sure that Ms. Carlyle would expect that I would tell you that you're welcome to enjoy all of the things available to you here this evening and to make yourselves as merry as possible.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You folks have a good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
You enter. The party is not quite hopping. It is. It looks like what you would have to guess is probably about half of the people are here, Bobby. And the other group will be arriving shortly. You see a lot of people. You get a lot of good to see you, Bobby. Nice. How are you doing? Like, a lot of people know you. A couple of people, Professor, you recognize as contributors to the dig that you went on, and also contributors to the or patrons of the university.
Okay.
So people that you have had to schmooze with before and rub elbows, and they're not bad people, but you're not friends. They're money. That's kind of how you've seen them for a while.
Gotcha.
Well, this is fortuitous.
Even though the party's not getting going, really, I am definitely walking around, being very charming. Definitely dressed to the nines for this.
Oh yeah.
And I'm doing my part to make the scene more comfortable. That's the best way I can put it.
Sure.
I'm smiling.
Do you have a persuade score?
How about a charm?
Charm is great. Charm is fantastic.
All right.
I forgot charm is a thing.
That is a regular success.
Okay.
So
don't forget that you guys are making these successes. You should be marking the box so that when we up later, that you get to do that.
Yep.
You're schmoozing along with a lot of the people. You're introducing everybody. Several people are aware of Professor Hardgrove and want to speak with him. Ms. Rumtree and Mr. Lockhart, are you engaging thoroughly with this crowd, or are you kind of just hanging back.
I am engaging thoroughly with a glass of champagne and or wine, whatever is available.
Both.
Both, then.
Okay.
I'm not engaging as much. I am presenting myself as open, but trying to take in the room and pay attention to what's going on more than I am trying to schmooze people and following Bobby around as he does his thing.
Your rank was sergeant, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, give me a spot hidden.
That was a failure.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of people that seem to be interested in talking with at least Bobby and the professor. Not so much with anyone else. After a while, you do see Erica Carlyle from the descriptions you've been given. She is she's like a 5'4" lady dressed very much in appropriate wear for the time. So not flapper, because she's not one of those ladies. But she is very fashionable. She's young, maybe 26, and seems to be commanding the attention of several people, men and women that are talking with her. She just seems to be in her element.
So I'm gonna, nonchalantly nudge Bobby and cock my head towards where Erica is.
Oh yeah. Miss Carlyle. I'll start walking over that way.
Bobby Blackwood. It's so good to see you. She puts her hand out and shakes yours or whatever is appropriate for the time.
You're supposed to kiss it.
I kiss it and say something appropriate in French.
Enchanté.
Enchanté.
Nice. Roll charm.
And I do speak French. Oh, still this a regular success, but you know what? Can I push on that and get that down to?
If you push, that means that if you fail, there's a negative consequence. You can usually only push failed rolls.
Yeah. What is it though when I spend some luck?
So what was what were you at? What did you roll?
If I spend 5 points, I'm gonna get it down to a hard success.
Then you definitely can spend those 5 points.
Yeah. It's not pushing though.
Yeah, what's it called?
That's just spending luck.
Yeah,
spending
it's just
luck. All right.
a luck spend.
Can I borrow your pen really quick? There we go.
Well, Mr. Blackwood, it is so fine to see you. I was so very excited to hear that you had requested an invitation to my party. I haven't seen you in quite some time, and it's always nice to have you, you nice city boys, come up here to the far reaches of New York to say hello. It's clear that she's slightly flirting, and that she knows that her family's estate is outside of where most people would normally go, as far as the partiers in town would consider it.
I am truly, this is a amazing estate, and I would not miss this for anything.
Oh, well, that is very kind. Could you introduce me to your friends?
Absolutely.
If I hear that his accent has suddenly gone European, I'm gonna raise my eyebrow and hide behind my champagne flute.
I proudly am a debutante of that, that style.
Oh no. God.
So this is Professor Daulphus Hardgrove.
Yes, I'm familiar with Professor Hardgrove. She lets you take her hand, and I assume you kiss it as well.
Mm-hmm. Pleasure, madam.
My family has not backed any of your expeditions. The last expedition that we backed was, unfortunately, very unsuccessful. It has been some time since we've been very involved in philanthropy and of that sort.
Yes, I've heard about that, yes.
And this is his associate, Miss Rumtree, who is also, I believe, involved in the museum.
I will hold out my hand to her.
She, can you roll charm, Roxy?
I mean, I can. It's not going to be very good. That is a 67 over 15.
Oh.
Colossal failure.
A coy smile, like she gets the joke that you're clearly not making, or you maybe are making.
I am making a joke, yeah.
Perhaps much cruder than what she expected, but she does take your hand and kisses it lightly. Says, Ms. Rumtree, it's a pleasure to meet you. You work at the museum. Which museum is that?
The one at Arkham University.
So you work at the university. Have you had a chance to study there?
I completed my studies before my time at the university, so I study what I am given to exhibit, but I've learned a lot from the professor.
We have always been a Harvard family, but Miskatonic University is no slouch in what it produces, and I'm sure that you take great care of all of their artifacts. That's the word.
Indeed, she does.
Oh, Daulphus.
And this is another one of my associates. This is Mr. Lockhart.
Miss Carlyle.
Sergeant, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, too. And I must say, this is a lovely estate.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So, Bobby, and she kind of peels herself away from the group, and it becomes clear that she is interested in talking to you, and the rest of the group kind of disperses. She says, so, Bobby, why did you come up this way?
Honestly, quite frankly, it's a little odd to talk about. We found something that I'm not saying you know about yet. Mr. Lockhart, can you shed some light on that?
She pulled away, right?
Well, did she pull away from like the crowd?
Away from the other group, the group of people she was talking to before you.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
she gave you her undivided attention.
Mr. Lockhart, you might be better suited to explain all this.
Miss Carlyle, among other things, yes, I was a sergeant in the war, but I'm also a private investigator, and I've been involved in a very unique case. And we have evidence that just recently came to light that the expedition that your brother was involved with,
She put up her hand up. She says, perhaps we could take a seat in the study.
By all means.
That'd be best.
And she starts walking that way. She makes a motion, and a man from across the room comes kind of that direction slowly. He's still carrying a glass of wine, and he also enters the study as well and shuts the door. It's kind of like a corner room where there's a door on two sides. And one of them's already shut, and he shuts the one he enters from, and then kind of as she sits down, he kind of walks over and stands behind her. She says, my apologies, this is Mr. Corey. He is he's the family lawyer, and he is aware of all of the things that I am, but I would rather have him hear this so that we can come to the same understanding together. He sees after a lot of the affairs of my family now.
Understood.
You said Mr. Corey?
Yes, Mr. Joe Corey. He is, Bobby, you know that he is a partner at the law firm Dunstan, Whittleby, and Corey. It's West 57th Street in New York. He's frequently in the newspapers concerning the shift of control of the Carlyle fortune to Erica.
Oh. I'll shake his hand. I am familiar with your background.
Well, yes. Thank you, Mr. Blackwood. What is this? What were I apologize. What were you speaking with Miss Carlyle about?
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to position myself so I can keep like the two doors in my peripheral vision. Sure. So, Mr. Corey, I'm a private investigator, and recently we've been, all four of us, Bobby, the Professor Hardgrove and Miss Rumtree and I have been involved in a unique investigation. A friend and associates of ours was murdered rather violently. And during the investigation, we came across documentation that shows that the expedition that Miss Carlyle's brother was involved in, there is possibly still survivors from that expedition.
That is... it has been several years. How can you be sure?
Wasn't it a photograph?
Yeah, we have some testimony and some photographs of a Jack Brody from March 19th. I'm sorry?
Jack Brady?
Brady.
Eric says Jack Brady?
Yep, Jack Brady. He was...
Jack is dead. He was with my brother.
Yes, and we actually have documentation that he was still alive in 1923 when he... You're right. I mean, all the newspapers showed that he was dead, but we have a photograph from 1923 that he was still very much alive.
She reaches up and takes the glass of wine from Mr. Corey and takes a large drink.
But wasn't there some immortal? Like, he wasn't where he was supposed to be.
Right. He was somewhere.
Thought he was like in Hong Kong or something. Am I off on that? I mean, pardon me.
No.
I'm sorry, Miss Carlyle. I'm just kind of...
Right. I mean,
I'm kind of caught up in the events here, and I'm trying to figure out where I fit in all this. So I'm not exactly following all the notes on this. I'll put it honestly.
I'm pretty sure that you and I are just misfortunate.
Yeah.
But
what wasn't it? I mean, we don't have it with us, but wasn't it Hong Kong?
I believe so. They were definitely outside of where
he
they were
wasn't
supposedly have been
he
murdered.
wasn't in.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like something shady.
We're still trying to track down the information on where they are exactly at, because I mean, please keep in mind that the evidence we have is from, a couple of years ago. It was in 1923.
But that's still several years after.
Correct.
My brother.
In fact, the documentation that we had showed that most of the expedition that wasn't native possibly were still alive at some point after the attack.
Okay.
Yes, they were all still alive at some point, but they were still alive after they were declared dead is what our evidence is directing us to.
Now, you do have to remember that Miss Carlyle went to Cairo to identify the body. That's what the newspaper said. So,
yes, I did spend some time in Kenya, and we spoke with some people there. And the information I was given was that one man didn't think that that my brother and his friends had been killed. I always thought that the expedition was more than just some foolish whim of my brother. He had some sort of secret fascination, and it really worried him that that black woman caused Roger's obsession. And his entanglement with her only indicated how depraved his taste had really become. After she came into his life, I had no idea how Roger had even come to meet her. He began to have strange dreams in which something seems to call to him and beckon him. But he would always scream and wake up and refuse to really discuss the dreams beyond that. I sent him to a friend of ours, Dr. Robert Huston, who was also on the expedition. I believe that Huston talked him into the expedition, and I feel that my hand in him going is also my hand in his death. But at the same time, that black woman was causing his loss of grip on reality.
out of character. This is a Roxy question.
Sure.
Is Roger the Carlyle brother?
Yes.
Okay.
And the black woman she keeps referring to is Imweru, the woman from the expedition.
Can you say the name again?
Imweru, M''WERU.
Okay.
Roxy, could you put up the handout number? Well, that's not going to help us. Hold on. I'm getting there.
That's all right.
Oh, that's not a handout. Well, that sucks.
Oh, is it not?
No, it's a picture of them. I didn't realize it wasn't a handout. That's okay. Not a big deal.
Sorry, boss.
No, that's not your fault. I should have looked at it a little closer. Roger would disappear for days and then suddenly turn up wild-eyed and crazy, saying only that he had been to Harlem. He did say that the black one was queenly, a priestess of some sort, and that she held secrets that he must have. For a while, I thought that maybe the African expedition would be good for him, but I expected him to figure out that the black woman was full of it, and her tales were nothing but mumbo jumbo. And clearly, she drove him over the edge into insanity.
Well, pardon me for saying, they were murdered, right?
Who was?
The expedition.
To the best of my knowledge, yes. But as the sergeant,
yeah, that barring that, I'm just saying. You say that she drove him to the edge of insanity.
Before they even left.
Oh, before they left. Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, Miss Carlyle, and I know this is difficult, you said your brother would go to Harlem?
Yes.
Do you happen to know where it is in Harlem that he went to?
Brass mentioned once that it was something about Linux and 138th or something. I mean, Brass was good, a good loyal man, and for all the things that Roger brought home, Brass was at least someone I felt like we could count on, and was really making up his time and effort to fix Roger's life and make sure that he stayed on track, although it didn't work.
Was Brass on the expedition as well?
Yes, he was. And Brass is the man that was seen alive in Hong Kong. Supposedly.
Oh, I thought it was Brady.
It's Jack Brass Brady.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Nope, that's all right. That's all right. That's a Roxy not paying attention. Well, you know, there happened to be a fire in that area of town this morning. So whatever was there must be lost. Or might be lost.
She looks up to her lawyer, and Mr. Corey turns to Bobby and says, "Mr. Blackwood, please tell me that your group was not involved in any sort of setting."
No, we had nothing to do with the fire.
Okay.
No, I just read about it in the paper this afternoon. I just remembered the address from when you said.
Have you been keeping an eye on that place or something? You jumped to quite a conclusion on that.
About the fire?
Well, about anything.
His involvement in it.
Yeah.
If you if you're tracking down information about Roger and you asked about Harlem, that seems to be just concerned that.
Well, I mean that's what's kind of interesting is we didn't mention Harlem.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
No, you did.
Lockwood asked.
Yeah, I asked about where the...
Oh, where in Harlem?
Mhm.
Yeah, but it was first brought up in conversation by
Sure.
Miss Carlyle. So,
Yeah,
asking a question is a little different.
Yeah, because that's not necessarily... I was just... I'm
Okay,
an
that's
investigator,
just-
so I'm just curious where it was.
And that's all I was saying is that we weren't the ones who introduced Harlem to the discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Either way, there's something definitely...
We've had some interesting things happen to us while we've been in town, Miss Carlyle, and we're concerned that it might be related.
That's the best way to put it right there.
Yeah, I agree.
A friend, not of mine, but a friend of the professor's and investigator Lockhart, seems to have had some interest in the Carlyle expedition, and he has been horribly, brutally murdered since we've been in town, and we'd come to speak with him, and it kind of led us here. So I figure it's best to just go ahead and lay our cards on the table in that instead of do this pointing fingers at one another or what may potentially turn into that, especially with, this is a lawyer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, especially with a lawyer present, we might as well be as honest as we can.
No, and if
Go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, I mean, lawyer present and everything else, you might you're going to find out more than likely anyway, but these people came after me this morning. I mean, that's reality.
Are you familiar with the cult of the bloody tongue, Miss Carlyle?
Definitely watching her for a response on that.
Yeah.
I am not. And she does. You guys can roll a little psychology.
Ooh, crap. Oh, I have a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Missed it.
I think I screwed up.
Really?
What's 3 zeros?
That's 100.
Yes, yeah, you
That would
failed.
be
You're
100.
like staring at the sky, the ceiling, instead of her face.
Congratulations.
Looks like he's going to attack. No, that's not it.
No, I just...
Actually, Roxy, if your character were to have visions of things that have happened recently, what would they look like?
If my character were to have visions of things that happened recently?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not understanding the question.
If your brain was replaying the things that had happened the last couple of days, what would we're stuck on?
I would be very stuck on a lion's paw. The red robes and the what else did that guy have? And then the zombie and then but yeah, that would mostly be it, I guess. Am I missing something?
No, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. As you're kind of stuck on the zombie, the concept of that you remember that moan that escaped it as it kind of shuffled towards you?
Sure.
You briefly remember that so thoroughly that it's almost as though it comes from the room. You know it doesn't.
But I get a little shaken.
You snap your eyes towards it. And they land on a book by hold on. A book by Poe.
Edgar Allan?
Yes.
Is it Telltale Heart?
It is his collected poems.
Okay.
And you get that hair on the back of your neck rising, and then it fades, but through a chill throughout your whole body.
Whew. Excuse me.
The rest of you, did anybody else succeed?
No.
On the psychology?
Yeah. So nobody succeeded?
Yeah, just a regular
Yeah,
success.
she doesn't know anything. No, nothing. No, she's never heard of. She doesn't seem to have heard of the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
Professor got a success.
Matt, can you
did
hear
you?
me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Because I'm getting a little audio problem. You're breaking up with me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you got a success, then yes. She she makes there's a twitch in her face, but it's not thorough. It's not hidden so much as it's more of a remembered thing that may not directly connect with what was said, but may have other connections. It's not like she's like, oh, aha, you know about the cult too. It's more of like the Cult of the Bloody Tongue reminds her of another thing that might have something to do with this.
How far away am I from the book of Poe's poems?
You could take a couple of steps over. It's not a small library by any means, but it's not huge.
Like, does she? If I was to walk over and pick it up, is it drawing? I mean, is it drawing inordinate attention? Like, are they?
No, because you haven't been really questioning or talking. You've just kind of been hanging out.
Sure, yeah. So, yeah.
So, Miss Carlyle.
Yes.
What can you tell me about this woman that your brother was seeing? Imwaru, was it?
That may have been her name. I don't know. She.
Well, isn't that what you just said a moment ago?
Matt, the storyteller, told you that it was Imwaru.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She has never...
forgive me. I've been getting a lot of breaking up of the audio, so I'm catching bits and pieces. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. He spent a lot of time with that woman. I don't know where he met her, and I don't know where she came from, but she had an undue influence on him.
You said she was a black woman. Was she like American or African?
I believe that she was African.
Okay.
Well, Miss Carlyle, I mean, reason we brought any of this up or even approached you, I mean, was because of this spotting of the guy from the exhibition. That's what it would be called, right?
Yeah, the expedition.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but we're now obviously on a path to figuring out what's going on of some sort, and I don't know how this will correlate or play out for you, but we wanted to come tell you at least.
At the bottom line, our primary concern, Ms. Carlyle, was figuring out what happened to our friend Jackson. Discovering that the members of the expedition may still be alive at first was secondary, but it seems like after what you told us, they may have been a little more involved with what we've been looking into. And we just wanted to see if you had any more in-depth knowledge, anything more to tell us. But what you're saying, it seems like he may be involved with the cult that murdered our friend.
It's possible. I do remember when Roger was getting excited about the expedition, he would read these books that were horrendous. I once read one of them, just glancing through it, it was frightening. And I don't know where he got them, but I wish he had never found them.
Do you happen to remember anything about the books? A title, a partial title, something that we could...
Or where they might be now?
Are you, Jewell, are you rummaging? Are you flipping
I
through
did.
the book?
I picked up the book, and I'm going to look on the inside flap to see if there's anything written, and then I'm going to just leaf through the pages.
On the inside flap is R15, L14, R13, L12.
R15, L14, R14, L12?
R13 is the third one.
Okay. So 15, 14, 13, 12.
Mm-hmm.
Right, left, right, left.
The book I remember flipping through, I think was the manuscripts, some sort of manuscripts. They're in his safe. He didn't take them.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, so you still have them?
Yeah. Would you like me to get those for you?
Yeah, please,
if
you can, yes.
If you wouldn't mind.
She goes over. Jewell, can I get a spot hidden from you?
Sure. Maybe. Let's see. That is a 63 under 65, so regular success.
Fantastic. You see her lean down to a safe, a combination lock, and she right 15, left 14, right 13, left 12.
Okay.
The safe opens. She pulls out a stack of books. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. There are 4 books that she pulls out. She does. She goes to she hands them to Lockhart. Says these are the books that he was looking at, and she just kind of hands them to you and doesn't really seem to want anything to do with them. You are holding the narcotic manuscripts. That's PNAKOTIC. Narcotic. It is just a small. It's a small, thin book. Not a lot there. You have It is in English, which is important. You have Selections de Livre Devant. It's a French commentary on a Latin book. It is very much in French. It is also just a normal looking book.
Well, can you spell the name for me?
Oh, yeah. Selections DE, new LIVRE, new word D''IVON. Deliver Devon.
Okay.
The third book is People of the Monoliths. I'm sorry. Let's back up for a second. Professor, I'm sure you're getting handed these or see the names of them.
I've taken one off the top and just passing it over to the professor.
You've heard of the narcotic manuscripts. You've never read it. Selections of Deliver of Devon, you've heard of as well. Both of those are relatively hard to find. You know that Miss Catonic has a copy of something similar to Deliver of Devon. It's the original Latin, and it's not the same book because this is a commentary on that book.
Okay.
People of the Monolith you've never heard of. It is also looks like it's hand bound. I need Lockhart and then the professor to make natural history or not natural history, natural world, whatever the.
Yeah, it's natural world.
Natural world rolls.
Oh, so close. 19. I failed.
19 over what?
19 over 10.
Okay. Hardgrove?
Natural world is the only roll for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Nope.
One of you could roll or could push or could use luck.
Do you have 9?
I will.
Yeah, are you going to do it? Because I only need to push down 9 points to get to where I need to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a little further than that to go, so.
Okay.
Okay, yep, I'll push to my luck.
The book is hand bound in leather. The leather is not cow.
Ugh.
And the last book is Life as a God. You've also never heard of this. It looks like it is a handwritten copy of a diary.
And hey, what did you say that third one was? Did you say People of the Monolith?
That's correct.
Okay.
So it looks like a handwritten copy of a diary. It does not look like the diary itself.
It is a handwritten diary. It is a handwritten diary.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's fine. That's fine. I didn't know if that was,
This
it had
one
some notation.
is bound in something that is not cow.
That one also? Does it look hand-bound?
Yes.
Okay.
So, quick question out of game. So, since I pushed my luck, do I get to check that box off?
No.
Okay.
You do not.
So as I hand the books to the professor, when we get to the last two, I'm going to kind of pass them to him, raise my eye, and be like, you do realize that this isn't animal leather, correct?
Well, it's not cow leather.
It's not cow leather, but that's usually what most leather comes from.
I'll take a closer look at it.
I mean, it could
You
be
hear
goat skin, sheep
Erica breathe in sharply. What do you mean it's not cow leather?
I mean, is it? Things are commonly not always cow leather. I mean, there is pig skins in football.
Yeah, you say it's like goat or pin or pig
or pig.
then I'll investigate.
I mean, are you trying to say that it's human?
I'm not saying it's not. It's not a natural skin. I'm trying to like convey with my eyes. Yes, you're right, but I don't want to freak Erica out.
Like, is there a belly button?
Bobby?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can you make a sanity check for me?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, goodness, no.
Okay.
Moving
You
right
know-
along.
You know what that skin is on the people of the monolith. It is not human nor animal. It is something else.
Ah.
Wow.
Do we have Owen Wilson playing?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
The last book, Professor, you're like 95% sure that that's human.
The handwritten journal one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's people.
Yeah, most animals don't have skin like that. And it is unsettling to say the least.
And the pages inside are paper or parchment or
They are parchment.
parchment.
Looking at that one, the other ones could easily be found in information about them. That last one, though, because it's like it looks like it's the only copy of a journal. Just flipping through it real quick, it looks like you would have to guess early 1800s is when it was written. That's the style it's written in and the quality of paper that you're looking at. So anywhere between maybe the very late 1700s, like 1790 through maybe 1825 is what you're looking at for a date on that one, Professor. Or Life is a God.
Around 1890?
1790
1790, okay.
5, give it somewhere in that time range.
Okay.
There are no dates on it.
Some diary.
Can you give me a spot hidden, Professor?
Sure. $27.
Does
That would
success?
be a normal success.
Okay. Then give me a sanity check.
Okay.
Roxy, can you throw up number 19?
Yeah.
68. Yep, I'm good.
Okay. The following passage is what your eyes land on as you're kind of looking through it. It says, its angles were magnificent and most strange. By their hideous beauty, I was enraptured and enthralled, and I thought myself of the daylight fools who had judged the housing of this room as mistaken. I laughed for the glory they missed. When the 6 lights lit and the great word said, then he came in all the grace and splendor of the higher planes. And I longed to sever my veins so that my life could flow into his being and make part of me a god. There's no sanity loss from reading that. It is chilling, though. It seems to have been
Gross.
written by a lunatic.
Montgomery Crompton was a fool.
My character's very silent and looks kind of white.
See,
Even
promise
more,
you
so.
wouldn't be in this party if you weren't white.
And then I'm
what I've
watching Erica's face as the professor read that passage
Erica
out.
seems disturbed and perhaps a little sick. If those books aren't made of cow, please remove them from my home. They are yours.
Yay.
If there's something,
Loot.
Bobby, are you going on to help Mr. Lockhart on this?
I'm afraid I'm in as deep as it gets. They're going to come for me too.
Bobby, I know your family has money, but if you need assistance, if you think that my brother might be alive, I'm willing to assist you financially to find that information. I could offer, and the lawyer kind
Do
of
you
puts
do
his
that,
hand
Sean?
I'm like,
Does Aaron Lockhart nod
not
vehemently?
that emphatically,
Bobby?
but I'm
Take it,
just
take it.
thrilled that she brought it up so we didn't have to ask and look like creeps.
Mr. Corey puts his hand kind of on her shoulder, and she stops talking for a second. He says,
The money's not yours yet, sister.
I can have a check for $5,000 available for you tomorrow. Depending on where you go, I'm sure that we could work out other amounts, but I would want to see results as well if we are going to be funding any of this.
Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Just for my own personal knowledge, what type of results particular are you looking for? Confirmation of death or confirmation of the living, or
if you can find proof that Mr. Carlyle has passed, then yes, we will take that. The body was never recovered.
okay.
It may be harder to do given the time. If you can show me that he is alive, that would be clearly far better.
Sure.
It might be helpful to go to the Penhue Foundation.
That was actually one of our plans.
That's on our list.
Good.
I could go back to Europe.
Yeah. If there's anything that can be done that you need help with, Ms. Carlyle has some means, although her money is tied up in some ways, but I'm sure that we could assist.
Fantastic.
That's much appreciated. And as for the books, I'll make sure that the university gives you a writ of thanks for the donation, and it'll be noted.
Erica shakes her head. Yes, that's fine. And whatever they value them at, I'm sure we can, for tax purposes. She seems a little despondent and very unsettled by the knowledge of the books that you've given there. That she's given you.
I'm going to walk a little closer to her. I'm going to take her hand and look at her and be like, Miss Carlyle, I understand that this has been very traumatic. News that your brother could possibly be alive after all this time, I understand that, but I want you to know that when I take a case, nothing will stop me from finding the truth. One way or the other, you will have closure on what happened with your brother. And then I'll just let her hand go and just step back.
I appreciate that. I actually think that's going to be a great place for us to break tonight.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we'll in 2 weeks on the 21st. If you haven't watched any of the previous ones, you know where you can find those. You can find those over at YouTube. We will link the YouTube in the information down yonder. I don't know, wherever it goes. Roxy's in charge of that.
We'll get it there, and those will be uploaded. At least the first episode should be up by the end of this weekend.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So, thanks guys for watching. And did we have any comments in the chat? I didn't.
We did.
We had a few. So
one person chimed in just recently. I don't know if they're still there, but MJC3BB.
yeah, basically they said I got to leave to go watch Critical Role, but you guys are doing great.
Oh,
Hope this works
fighting
out.
Critical Role. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose.
Well, we're ending right as they're starting, so I think we're doing great.
So
in
I think
that
we're okay.
Solid, good choice. So, it's like an opening band. If you want to come see Critical Role, that's great. Beforehand, come see us. We're the
Play
opening
Call of
band
Cthulhu,
now.
yeah.
Exactly.
So,
And that's what they said. They said that's great that you guys are doing Cthulhu Masks, and I hope it works out for us.
Oh, good, cool. Well, thanks guys for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
In
Later,
a fortnight.
Alrighty, we'll talk to y'all later.
Night.